Hello everybody, this is our Sunday video for Math 100 on August 30th, 2020. It's surprising, sort of, quick, weird that it's almost September. It's been a very strange year, but I hope that your semester is off to a good start. I want to remind everybody that for this 100% online class for Math 100, there is no mandatory meeting. You'll see that there is no scheduled days of the week or time at which we meet, and that's because we don't meet synchronously, okay? Now, when you do want to meet with me over Zoom, you're welcome to just join in and come into my, Zoom quote-unquote virtual office hours, Mondays and Thursdays. Every Monday and every Thursday, I'll be available from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. So an hour and a half, twice a week. If you can't make it during these hours, just write me an email and let me know when you are available, and I'll set up an appointment for you. If you join me in the Zoom office hours, you may have to wait a little bit. I may put you on the waiting room for a few minutes because there may be some other people who are talking to me at that time. Okay, today I just want to share a few things in Zoom to clarify a few things, because I have been getting some questions concerning when to turn in, what to turn in, and when to turn in through Canvas. So let me go into share my screen and see what Canvas looks like. Hold on. Okay, so when you open your Math 100 Canvas shell, it should look somewhat like this. Now, you don't have exactly the same view because what you're seeing is my instructor view. Your student view looks a little different. Okay, but I want you to, and I am not going to go over everything today because I did that in these videos, introductory videos 1 and 2. If you have not seen these, I highly recommend that you watch these. In fact, I require that you watch these in order to find out what the course is like and how to, how to do this course this semester. Now, I moved this thing up here, office hours. If you click on that, it'll tell you my Zoom ID number, so you can contact me during my office hours. Here's a list of homework exercises. This is something else I had many questions about, from you students. Some of you could not find the list of exercises. Now, actually, those were originally included and still is there on the course syllabus, which is right here. If you click on this, you'll have a, I think, 4 or 5 page course syllabus. And one of those pages lists all the homework exercises, but this is where you can see the exercises. And then once you are done, or once you have tried to answer all the questions from these sections that you are studying right now, you should go to this thing here, homework solutions. This is the PDF file where you will see the step-by-step solutions with explanations for your homework questions. All right. So the course syllabus is here. I would not worry about the PowerPoint here. This is just an introductory PowerPoint on what Math 100 is like. You do not need to know that one. You're welcome to if you'd like. And then here's your textbook. I recommended that you download this entire book, and I still ask you to do that if you have not downloaded that. You don't have to print the whole thing because that's hundreds of pages, okay? But if you download this, you'll have access to your homework assignments and the text without having to go into your internet. All right, most of you did assignment 1 and show your work for assignment 1. If you have not done, by the way, these are overdue now because these were due on August 27th. And this one was 28th because it was half an hour after the midnight or 11:59 p.m. on August 27th. Okay, and by the way, just to let you know, your math instructor this semester, which is me, is not half Scottish, half Brazilian, and half Italian. I hope you realize it's not possible for somebody to be 150% of a human being. And just for your information, I am 100% Japanese. Now, some of you missed that question because you didn't take true false seriously, or maybe you just didn't know what you were doing, or maybe you didn't know what I look like. So I gave you credit And if you turn this in, you should have gotten 5 points. And so for this one, thank you for letting me know. I see that many of you have pets. Some of you are calling your siblings pets. And many of you do work, many of you don't. Many of you play sports, you love music. And so that would be great. In fact, we have quite a bit of musicians in our sections, and that's good because we will have a lesson on a little bit of music theory later on. Okay, so everybody got 0 point, but that's not because you did not turn this in. This was just a 0 point assignment. I just needed you to practice turning in things through Canvas. And by the way, I think I erroneously wrote in many places you are submitting these assignments through Zoom, and that's completely my mistake. And you're not turning anything in through Zoom, obviously. You are turning in your assignments on or through Canvas. That's what I meant. Okay, so what's next? You have, for every lesson you have several things. Standard features for a lesson is the notes. This is blank, right? So you should print this out. And then you write on the notes, you jot down information. You can also fill in the blanks as you watch the videos. Videos are linked on lesson number 1. And here, this is a page that tells you what to do, including the links for the videos you watch. Once you are done with this, you do your worksheet 1. Okay, now I have just formed, a couple of days ago, I formed the study groups. Okay, now I have combined all 4 sections of Math 100 this semester. I have like 140 students altogether. So I created like 30 study groups, and you should know which one you belong to. And so feel free to, and I strongly encourage you to and urge you to contact your group mates and then start working on these things. You can compare notes, you can compare solutions to worksheets, okay? And so every time you do a lesson, and usually you do 2 lessons a week, you do your worksheet, okay? And that's sort of like a page 3. I mean, I don't call this page 3, but it's, you have 2 pages of lesson and then 1 page of worksheet. This is the part you turn in. You do not turn in your lecture notes, okay? You do turn in worksheets, but not every day, because there will be so many days you will be turning this in. So just to make it simple, and I hope this, I know this has confused several people, but I'm hoping that you will get into the sort of a routine of things. Worksheets are typically due on the Monday after the week you cover that. So for instance, in week number 1, you are to do lesson 1 and lesson 2. Okay, and then the Monday following this past week, which is Monday the 31st of August, then if you notice here at the end of lesson 2, you have WS1-2. This is the worksheet 1 and 2. Now, if you ever have a question about like, what is this assignment? This icon right here, okay, that looks like, rectangular thing, notes. This is the icon representing assignments. These are just, attached pages, okay? The clips are pages. So here's a lesson 2. This is your lesson that's, the page. And then actually, this is not the same icon as this one. This is standing for a Canvas page. This is a link to a PDF file or some sort of file, and this is assignment. So if you're wondering what this assignment is, because every assignment does have a deadline and a point value, if you click on that, it will tell you what WS1 and 2 stands for, okay? Worksheets 1 and 2 to be done immediately after watching videos 1 and 2. Lessons 1 and 2. And then do not forget to do your homework. You turn this in through Canvas. This is a part it's used to say through or via Zoom, but now it says via Campus. All the details are here. It's supposed to be uploaded. And if you click on, you will have a submit button right here. And then you can click and submit your assignment. Okay, so if you have any questions, please contact me. Okay, so again, back to typical assignment. Let's say right now you have finished lesson 1 and lesson 2. You should be working by yourself or preferably with at least some of your people in your group that you have been working on worksheets 1 and 2, you submit that by the end of tomorrow. Okay. Now I have also turned on keys, right? So if you click on lesson 1 key or lesson 2 key, these were not made available until yesterday or today. If you click on these, you will see the entire lesson notes, the first 2 pages, along with, and now watch carefully here, the page 3 of every key is your solutions to worksheet 1 or worksheet 2 or worksheet whatever the lesson is. So every lesson has 2 notes, 2 pages of notes, which of course I fill in while I record my lesson, but it's also here. And then if you look at the 3rd page of the key, you will have a solutions to worksheet 2 or worksheet whatever that lesson is. Now, the reason I give you the answers is not because I want you to copy them, okay? I want you to understand this, and then I want you to check your answers. Naturally, with 140 students, I do not have time to check every answer, okay? So this is supposed to be for your self-check. And so make sure you look at what you turn in or what you're about to turn in. Check your answers, okay? And go over the problem, the mistakes or the wrong answers that you wrote down, so that you can correct your answers in time for that Monday when you do have to turn in your assignment. Okay, so worksheets are the things that you must turn in. All right, I also said you have homework assignment from the book. Okay, so when do you turn in homework? Okay, so the homework is slightly different. I have you turn in homework every time we finish a chapter. Okay, so at this point, you're not quite finished with a chapter yet. Chapter 1 consists of lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and lesson 4. So the first 2 weeks, you'll be studying chapter 1. And once you are done with that, you see this right here? Okay, it used to say homework 1. And again, that was confusing. So I changed the name of the assignment. It says homework chapter 1. If you don't know what that is, okay, go ahead and click on that. And it's pretty obvious this is supposed to be homework chapter 1. So the reason this is not due until September 7th is because you have chapter 1 going on this week in the first 2 weeks. And then again, I would like to have my homework due on the Monday following the completion of each chapter. So chapter 1 will be finished at the end of week 2, and you should be turning this in on the Monday following the 2nd week. Now that happens to be September 7th. And this year, this is a holiday, okay? But that's okay. You can just turn this in anytime before the 7th and it will not count against you, right? Now, sometimes the homework is due on Tuesday. Like, why Tuesday? Well, because many exams on Tuesdays. And, when you have, for instance, test 1 will cover chapters 1, 2, and 3. And chapter 3 homework, instead of having that due on Monday, I will just give you, we'll give you 1 extra day so you can turn that in on the day of the exam, okay, before you take your exam. So pay attention to the due dates. Of course, feel free to turn these in anytime earlier, okay, but that's what works, right? So again, very quickly, worksheets are due, or worksheets should be done immediately after you watch the videos, but they are due on the Monday following the week when you cover the material from those lessons. Homework is due for with the units of chapters, right? So every time you finish a chapter, chapter 1 or chapter 2 or chapter 3 in the book, that's when you turn it on the following Monday or possibly Tuesday if there's an imminent exam. Okay, so homework is due every chapter. Worksheets are due pretty much every week for the lessons previously covered in the previous week. I hope it's clear. I know that when we met face-to-face, this was not a problem, but now everything is online. This could be a little confusing, but I hope I have made myself clear here. Again, homework assignments are due at those days, but you do have the solutions here, right? All the homework solutions are published online, and that means you have to check your own works. And again, if you have any questions, contact me, see me in my office hours, or just write me an email asking questions. I will try my best to answer you as quickly as possible, okay? And the reason this is important is because on the real test, of course, you will not have access to your worksheets or your homework, all right? Now, when and how often are your exams? Okay, so you have lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, And at the end of September, close to the end of September, September 22nd is your first test. Now you're not going to see this yet. You do not see it here because I have not turned this on yet. Okay, but after lesson number 6, or as you get you approach lesson 6, you will start to see practice test key, and of course this is where you turn in your chapter 2 homework, and then your test number 1 is due. I believe the test number 1 is only going to cover the first 2 homework. So chapter 2, the first 2 chapters. Okay, anyway, so the test 2 is something that you take online, and then of course right after test 2 you will show your work for test number 1. Okay, so that's how it goes. Now at this point you will see test lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lessons 1 through 5. Again, I have not turned in 4 and 5 yet, but I will in a moment. So by the time you are watching this, you are seeing lesson 4 and lesson 5. All the videos are already available, and so are the notes and the worksheets, not the keys yet. Okay, and so you go ahead and start doing these. Let's see, by the end of this coming week, you should finish lessons 3 and 4, basically 2 lessons a week. Okay, study groups have been set up, and the discussion boards will be set up in the future, but not quite yet. All right, so hopefully this has clarified some of your confusions and some of your questions. Okay, so I hope you have a great week. This coming week, you do lessons 3 and 4. If you want to get ahead, you can also do lesson number 5, which is for the following week after your Labor Day weekend. All right, have a good week, and I will see you later.